see. Next topic here, we're going to talk about booth etiquette again, guys. Okay, the reason that I said this is because I watched this young man. I cannot remember his name. I wanted to for this show because I am going to highlight another DJ in a few. I watched this guy on YouTube, and he, I'm throwing up air quotes here. He's a traveling DJ. Okay, now he's a young guy, and he traveled from, I think he's from like Philadelphia, and he traveled all the way to Florida for a function. And I think it was just him and his lady. And while he was up there DJing, he was I've never seen a DJ area as big. Like it was like a big square, and he was like in the center. So there was so much room around him, and there was like a seat for his lady to sit down on, and security was all up front, but there was like this little area off to the left that, people could come up, I guess, and do stuff with. Maybe it was like a stage or something like that, but it was all made of wood. And as he was playing, I was just like noticing that, a couple people would trickle up here, a couple more people would trickle up here. And before you knew it, he was surrounded by people, completely surrounded by people. And I just watched the people around him. And there was this one guy, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys have had this, but there's always that one guy that's like staring at you, like, and sometimes in awe of what you're doing, but sometimes it's just kind of creepy. Like this guy was like literally standing right here while the guy was mixing and stuff, and he was just looking at everything he did. He wouldn't dance. He didn't have any girls with him. He was just looking, but he wasn't facing the DJ. He was just kind of like facing the crowd, but he would just stare over here the whole time. And I was like, dude, like that's super, super creepy. And as the thing filled up, I noticed that people were dancing and stuff up there. And I want to know, outside of weddings, how, when you do an event that allows people to kind of come all the way up to you, do you allow them to kind of dance in your area? Because even this image right here, it takes me back to when I used to do college gigs. And college gigs and stuff, if you go back to some of my old gigs, you'll see that I used to get surrounded, and people would be, throwing cans and stuff up, and girls would be wanting to sit stuff down on your stand, or they would want to take pictures and stuff with you, or they would swing off your light. Like I can't believe it. I had one girl, I used to have a light tree behind me, and she thought my light tree was like a pole for her to swing on, and she tried to swing on it, pull the whole pole down, of course. We took care of that though. We got her out of there immediately. And the frat covered my lights, but it was horrible. But do you guys allow this? Because I got to a point where that just got ridiculous and I was done. If you're not going to have booth etiquette where you can just stand and watch and just pay attention and maybe have a good time and maybe cheer out to the crowd, like that's what that's for. You don't stop me or interfere with me to where I can't continue to keep performing. And so like, it's very important to me to have great booth etiquette. And I don't mind people getting up and dance. I don't mind people dancing on equipment. Like I see DJ Bar lets people jump up on his subs. I've seen, Lil Vegas, he'll be opening for somebody, and some people will come up and dance in front of him. Jazzy Jeff has let some people like do their dances and stuff in front of him. I actually, I can't stand. I can't stand when people get real close to me. Like I don't like when people, like, if my facade is right here, I don't like when people dance right here. Like it is horrible. It's horrible. It makes it to where it's unpleasant, and I just like space. I've just gotten to that point as a DJ. I just like space. You know that picture that the guy's DJing, he's got his hand on the girl, her head is like all the way back. Like I totally resonate with that now. I do. I do. But let me know if you guys allow that. I don't allow nearly as much as I used to at all. I can't stand it. I know we talked about people putting drinks and stuff down on stuff, but now we're just talking about if you're even close, Like, how about falling into your equipment or bumping the table or knocking over something or tripping over a cord or walking behind you? That's also booth etiquette. You know, if you've got a little bit of space behind you, but you got cords and stuff on the ground and you've taped them down and everything still, like, why, if you've got the whole dance floor, why are you walking by? I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. But I saw that and I was just like, he just kept rocking with it though. He kept doing his thing. He didn't let that affect him, and he just did his thing. And then, you know, when he was done, they all cheered for him, and they all were jumping around him. And I was like, do you, my guy, do you? But it couldn't be me. It just could not be me. But let me know in the comments down below if you guys allow for people to get, you know, that close and stuff like that. I was watching a lot of YouTube and stuff though, so you have to excuse me. I watched a lot of YouTube while I had a little bit of downtime, and came up with a lot of these things.